Okay, now we're going to have a look at another part of the program, and we're going to focus in on the dashes. You'll see that there's a few dashes on the screen and each icon. So this is the email icon, and if you look at it, there's 3 dashes on the bottom and 3 dashes on the top. Now what it means is that you can left click, middle click, right click on the email, as well as left mouse button down drop on the button, middle mouse button, and right mouse button drop on the button. Now an interesting thing to note is you can't drag and drop from the desktop to the middle mouse button. You can only do it from Internet Explorer, and you can't drag and drop from many applications to the right mouse button drag drop, which is this one here, or this button here. You used to be able to do some applications, but the developers like Thunderbird decided arbitrarily they would get rid of the functionality because the right mouse button is for menus. They couldn't distinguish from a click and a drag. Well, that's their disadvantage. Ammenster heavily relies on overloading buttons in the true style of programming. We get the most, or I should say, I get the most out of every piece of real estate I possibly can. And I like to keep things as a developer and an engineer to a map. So when you look at the landscape, you're seeing a landscape of where things are. So that was our landscape of that button. And to find out what the button does, you just highlight it over and you can see what each part of the button does just by looking at it. And because everything is in one space, your thinking is, oh, I need to have this button. So, for example, if I pull up an email from the sample emails that I've got, and let's pick something random that we don't know what it is. I'll just take off the view. They're mostly spam, so critical storage, well, that's a bit of spam, so let's have a look at a bit of spam. So we drag and drop it onto the file, and it opened in another window, but here is so I'll just open it here, and then if we do it again, hopefully it will open again in that window. So we'll just do it again. Nope, it's opening on the other window. I think if I close it, maybe that'll do it. Let's try again. Try it again. There we go. So you see how quickly that window opens. So we just simply dragged and dropped. So because we're saving our emails locally, we need to be able to view them. So if you want to look at 3 emails at the same time, there you go. And 2 of them are the same. Now if I right click and drag and drop to there, you'll notice it hasn't worked like it's supposed to, but it's supposed to. Oh, there's some bug there. This is the problem with development, is that you introduce code, but there's other aspects. If we highlight the text, I'll fix that later. If we left mouse click, we launch the default email client. So let's see what we launched. So it's asking for Mozilla to set up. No problemo, we can do that. If we hit the middle mouse button, we should be selecting active web email client. So we've got Gmail, we can click on Gmail, and it's opened in another window, which is not what I wanted. I will open it. Where's my... I'm just trying to find. There we go. So if we look at that and we go Gmail and we've got that, and we center click it, click Gmail, you'll see that you open the Gmail client. And you can see it's pretty much just a straightforward look. If we right click it, if I get the right click, it says close all open email accounts. So if we drag and drop onto that, and there you can see there's a few emails opened, 3 of them. If I right click on it, it'll close all the windows. I do like to close files of one type all at the same time. It allows for fast acting. So when you're working through a directory, like say we look at this casino one, you can see that I get it up pretty quick and close it. Now, another button that's quite overloaded in my system is the text processing. So if you left click on the mouse button, I'll close it here so you can see it pop up. Let's do it again. Just close it a little bit. So if we close that and then we click left mouse button click, there's Notepad Lightweight opens up, and there you go. If we right mouse click, we open Notepad ++. I'll do the same thing. Oh no, we don't want an update. No. So let's just get that into a window where we can see it, and we'll do it again. So this is a right mouse click, opens Notepad. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Now if we have files, as we go into our experimental files, and we have a look if there's anything with any size. There's a VCF file, that'll do. So if we drag and drop we'll open that up. No, we won't do that. If we go to, you'll notice that it just simply throws up a pile of information about that character in vCard format. Now we also have a vCard viewer. So if we drag and drop, where are we? We drag and drop a vCard. There's it creates. I need to drop it in. I need to be able to view it anyway. So there's a tool. It'll open vCards. But let's say I get the Blizzard Rapid Description Saver. Let's have a look. There it is. And so all I did was I created clicked on the button and it just brought up Rapid Description Saver. This application, what it does, is it simply takes anything that you get from a text file and copies it and pastes it. So if we get into something like this and then we look up Wikipedia for example, and we go into Wikipedia and we're doing some research, I don't need that, and let's just pick some random article. English, and let's just, for example, let's say we're doing some research and we have something we want to copy. I don't know, let's pick something with a title. So you got something like that, and you copy it, and then you clear paste it, and it just pastes into it. And when you press save, it will create a file based on that file on the desktop. I have to refresh it. There it is. And the usefulness of that is that you can work quickly with files to create files. Now if you wanted to date that file, you just zoom it down to there or there and you've created it. And unfortunately the desktop isn't refreshing because of, normally it refreshes, so I have to manually refresh. But you can see it's named it and gave it a historical context. You can do all sorts of things with that now. We will also have an editor that does the same thing, but is way more sophisticated. So you'll be able to paste titles, paste authors, lines, append, just whatever you want from the clipboard using buttons. I'll also do it with the drag and drop, but for the moment, one button. These are just some examples of the features. Another feature of this is that as soon as you hover over a tab, the application switches to that. Pretty powerful. So for example, if you want to go to the renamer section, or you want to go to experts or tools, this is all under development, all these sections through here, but this area here is highly developed. And that is an introduction to some Ammenster features.